Hi everyone, how you doing? You welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah. On today's video, we're making this beautiful ball gown. I made use of 8 yards and 10 inches for the net. Then for the bridal satin, 1.5 yards for the bridal satin. The lining also is 1.5 yards. The ad net is 1.5 yards. But when you're making for a child 3 to 7 years, I would advise you use 3 yards of bridal satin, 3 yards of the lining. Then for the net, you use 10 yards for the net. Then for the ad net, you make use of 5 yards to give it that puffiness you used to see so that your gown will stand firm. So guys, let's jump right into it. The first thing you do is to get from your shoulder to the half length of the child you're working with. So my own shoulder to half length is 10 inches here. This is 10 inches here. Shoulder to half length is 10 inches. Then you mark 10 inches here also. Now connect this line. So after getting shoulder to the half length, now you get the shoulder of the child. The shoulder of the child I'm working with is 9 inches. 9 divided by 2 will give me 4.5. Then I will add half inches for ease. Now I'm making use of 5 inches for the shoulder of the child. Now the next you have to do is to drop the width of the neckline. So for the width of my neckline, I'm making use of 2 inches for the width of the neckline. Then the depth also will be 2.5 for the depth of the neckline. Now connect this line together. So now my shoulder here, I'll come down by half inches for the shoulder slope. I'll connect these half inches down to the width of the neckline and mark. So now the next you have to do is to drop the chest line, which is the armhole. So for my armhole, I'm making use of 4.5 inches because this ball gown is armless. So 4.5 inches here. Then I'll come to the center front also and mark 4.5 inches. So now on this chest line here, I'll pull down 5 inches, which is my shoulder measurement here. Then I'll connect with the straight line down. Now I'll check what I have here and divide it by 2 to get the armhole. You divide what you have here by 2 and you come in by half inches here. Now connect with my curve. Okay, this is the armhole. Now the next you have to do is to divide the chest, not bust, it's chest for children. So the chest I'm working with is 22. 22 divided by 4 will give me 5.5 here. On the waist also, the waist I'm working with is 22 divided by 4 will give me 5.5 here. So now connect with the straight line down. So now cut this out, then we draft the back pattern. So I'm through the cutting of the front. Now let's draft the back. So for the back, I came down by 1 inches for my startup line. Here we have 1 inches for the startup line. Then I came in by 1 inches for zipper allowance. Now the next you do is to get the width of the neckline. So for the width of the neckline, you make use of 2 inches. Then the depth also, you make use of 1 inches for the depth of your neckline. So now connect the neckline together. So after getting the neckline, now you get your shoulder. So for the shoulder, we made use of 5 inches for the width of my shoulder, and I will come down by half inches for the shoulder slope. Now you connect this half inches back to the depth of your neckline. So now after doing this, now let's get the length for the back. So for the back also, you make use of shoulder to waist, which is 10 inches. Now connect this line together. After getting shoulder to the waist, now you get the armhole. So for my armhole, I made use of 4.5 inches for the armhole. Then you check what you have from your startup line. I have 5.25 here. You bring it down to your center back and mark. Now connect the line together. So now on the chest line here, you pull down your shoulder measurement which is 5 inches, and you connect back this way, and you divide what you have on your shoulder. Here we have 4.5 divided by 2, we give you 2.25 here. Then for the back, you come in by 0.25, not half inches. You know we did half inches for the front, then for the back you do 0.25. So now you connect this way and finish up with the curve. So now the next you do is to divide your chest by 4. The chest I'm working with is 22. 22 divided by 4 will give me 5.5 here. After dividing your chest by 4, now you divide the waist also. The waist I'm working with is 22 divided by 4 is 5.5. I'll come down by 5.5 here. So now we cut this out also. Cut from your neckline. So I'm done with the cutting of the half length. This is the center front and this is the back, which is the center back. Now let me show you the materials we'll be using to make this beautiful gown. Making use of Vida satin. I would advise when you want to buy Vida satin, don't buy the shining face Vida satin. You buy the dull face Vida satin. It's the client that bought this one, and you can see it's shining face. Don't buy shining face. And for the half length, you have to use overlay. For your overlay, you can make use of either sequins or lace. That way your ball gown will come out beautifully. So, but for this, I'll be making use of the bridal satin for the overlay and lining for the underlay. This is the net for the ball gown. So my net here, I have 8 yards and 10 inches. But I would advise when you want to make yours, buy 10 yards of net. And the nets, we have two type of net. They have the soft one and the when you touch it in texture is somehow hard. I would advise you buy that one for the net, and you use 10 yards, not 8 yards. But here I want to manage 8 yards and it come out beautiful also. Then for the hard nets, I will advise to buy the rubber kind of hard net. You can see how it is, not this other one, not this other one. You see the difference? This one is shining and this one, the holes there, can see how it looks. I would advise you buy this one. This one is better to make your ball gown to stand very well. But for this gown, we are making use of this. I drop a video on the comment section on how to draft a baby gown. There I made use of this hard net and you will see the gown is standing firm. So for lining, we'll be making use of cotton lining, also known as spider. They call it spider in the market. Some call it cotton lining. We'll be cutting the half length first. Then I will tell you what to do next after cutting the half length on my fabric. The full length I'm working with is 36 inches. After we minus 10 inches from the half length, we have 26 inches. So now the remaining part of the satin we'll be cutting now will be 26 inches plus 2 inches for seam allowance. That will be 28 inches. So now cut this out. So I'm done cutting it and I've joined it back. You can see this is where I join it back. My Vida satin has joining because I did not buy 3 yards. I bought 1.5 yards. I divide it by the length, then I join it back to give me that 3 yards. This is where I want to draw my gathers, but we will not be using machine to draw the gathers because by the time you sew it finish, when you are drawing it, the thread will be cutting. So we'll make use of the needle and thread. So for the needle and thread now, you leave like 1 inch is okay. 1 inch is for the zipper allowance. So we leave like 1 inch here and start to draw the gathers bit by bit. So this is how you'll be doing it. You can see where I'm doing it, I'll do it to this. So look at what I did with my hand needle. Is hand needle we use and draw the gathers, and you make sure you knot the side of your thread. This is how to be. Look at it. So I'll continue with the gathers, because when you use your machine, by the time you are drawing it, it's bridal satin, the thread will be cutting off. So we'll continue till the end. Just be doing it this way, little by little. You can see the way I'm doing it. You take your time when making a ball gown. You need to have patience. It takes patience and time, and you have a beautiful ball gown. I'll do this for the bridal satin. By the time we cut out the tulle also, we'll repeat the same step on the tulle. So see the way I'm doing it. We continue. Yeah, before I forget, when you want to make your thread, you have to make your thread into four, so it will be very thick. Then you continue to sew with your hand needle. I'm through the drawing of the gathers. You can see how it is, and this is the end point here. Now the next we have to do is to go and sew this down on the machine. We've not sewed this down. With needle and thread we do the gathers. Now you have to secure it with the machine. You sew on it. As you're sewing it, you'll be arranging the gathers. So I'll go and sew on it now. I'm through with the sewing of my gathers. You can see how it is. I have sewn on it now, and it looks very fair. Now we keep the bridal satin aside to work on the tulle. So this is the tulle. When you want to make for 3 years to, let's say, 7 years, you buy 10 yards of tulle. But here I have 8 yards of tulle. So now what I'll do next is to divide this 8 yards by 4 yards. I'm done dividing my tulle by 4 yards. This is 4 yards, and this is the second 4 yards. Now we have 4 yards the tulle. So now the next I have to do now is to arrange my tulle. So we'll cut it into two. When you're making a ball gown, the tulle, you have like 4. Your tulle will be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I will divide this my tulle by 2. The length of tulle is always long. So now I'll divide this by 2. So I'm done cutting the tulle. Your tulle should be 2 inches longer than your bridal satin. That's what I did. The tulle is 2 inches longer than the bridal. Now the next we have to do is to sew the net with our hand needle the way we did for the bridal satin. So I've passed the thread on my needle. Now I've knot the side of the thread. So you leave like 1 inches, which is the zipper allowance, and start to sew with your hand needle this way. This is how you do the two. But when you are doing this, you have to take your seat and sit down patiently. Just be doing it gently. You don't have to rush. Gently. So till we do it the way we do the bridal satin, you repeat the same thing also on your net. I'm through with the hand stitching. You can see how it is. Now the next we have to do is to secure this down with the machine. You go and sew on it the way we did on the bridal satin. Yeah, I've sewn on it. You can see how it looks. Now we keep the downside aside so we can work on the half length. So for the front now, I will go and turn the neckline on 0.25, the armhole and the side. I'll repeat the same thing also on the back. We turn the neckline, the armhole and the side with the zipper allowance. I'm done with the sewing of the neckline. Now we'll give this a launch, and after launching it, we'll give it a good press, the front and the back. I'm done with the pressing. Now the next we have to do is to join the half length at the shoulder. So you come in from your front this way and bring it out from the inside, then you turn. So now go and sew this on 1/2 inches like this. This is how you sew. You sew on 1/2 inches, then repeat the same thing also on the other shoulder. So I'm done with the joining of the shoulder. You can see how it looks at the back, and this is the front. Now the next you have to do is to join your sides by the seam allowance you left. Mine for the bust is 1.5 here, then on the waist is 1.75. now connect this line this way. I will join the sides, then I will put the same thing also on the other side. I'm through with the joining of the sides of the half length. Now the next we have to do is to join the net to the half length, and you can see I've give the center front a launch. So now I'll go and join the two to the half length this way. I will join this two, and I will join the second one also. You know we are having 4 layers of the two. Now I'll do this and tell you what to do next. I'm through with fixing the net. You can see how it is. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've put the 2. This is 1, and then this is 2, and this is 2. You can see how it looks at the back, and this is the front. Now the next we have to do is to fix in the bridal satin. So for the bridal satin also, you start to sew from 0.25 inch, and you start to sew to the other side of your back. That's how we do on the bridal satin. And when you want to join your bridal satin, you make sure the place that is shining, that will be at the front, not this other side. I'm through fixing the bridal satin. You can see how it looks now. Now the next we have to do is to fold the hem of the satin. You fold it on 1 inch. This is 1/2 inch. Then you fold one more time like this. I'm through with the folding of the hem of the bridal satin. You can see how it looks. Now the next we have to do is to keep the gown outside, so we'll work on the petticoat. So to cut out your ad nets, I'll be making use of this pattern paper to explain. You know, when you buy your ad nets, if it's this type you bought, this one, this type is always on fold. This is how it will be. So you cut out 2 yards that you use and cut the petticoat. Then you fold after, you know, it's on fold this way. Then you fold one more time like this. That's how you now fold. So now the next you do is to divide your waist by 6.28. So you divide your waist by 6.28. The waist I'm working with is 20.5. Divided by 6.28, I have 3 inches. Let's say now come down from this paper, the ad net by 3 inches. You mark your 3 inches like this. Now you connect your lines together. So after connecting your lines, the bridal satin we are working with, the length is by 26. By the lining, when you want to cut your lining, you cut your lining by 24, like 2 inches lower than the bridal satin. Then the ad net, you now cut your ad net by 22. Now let's assume the length of my ad net is 22. This is an illustration, so you just mark from, check what you have, 22 plus 3 inches will give you 25. Then you mark round your ad net. So after making use of the 2 yards, when making for 3 to 6 years old, you have to use like 5 yards of this net. So after you cut out 2 yards that you use and cut out the flay for the net, you know you cut your net on flay, you now cut another length again. The remaining 3 yards, use it to cut 7 inches. So this is 7 inches here. So now I'll be plinting this on my net. I'll come down from the length of my waist here by 3 inches and mark. So now we'll go and sew this round. I don't have enough, I'm not working with enough net, so I'll just make use of what I have. Then I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. I'm through the sewing of the petticoat. You can see the way I sew. When you want to sew the 7 inches you cut out, look at this is 7 inches. When you want to sew it, you have to come out a bit like this, so you can trim it off when you are done sewing. Then from the waist of my ad net, I came down by 3 inches. This is 3 inches here. Then for the second step, you come down by 4 inches. So now the next we do is to fix this net to the gown. So now I'll go to the machine. I will join the ad net. I'll make sure the side I pleat is facing the lining, so it will give it that puffiness. So now I'll go and join this on the waist this way, on ½ inches where the line we have there before. I will join it down to the other side of my waist. I'm through with the fixing of the net. You can see how it looks at the back. This is the net. Now the next you do is to fix the lining. So this is my lining. The way you use your needle and thread to gather the bridal satin, the net, that's what you do on the lining. So you can see I've done mine. Now the next we do is to you sew this way. Well, as you're sewing it, you'll be arranging the gathers. After you sew, then you flip it to the back this way, so it will cover the joining we have here at the half length. So now I'll go and join this from this joining here. I'll make sure I come out the way we did on the bridal satin. So we sew this round the waist. I'm through with the joining of the lining. You can see the way it is. I join this way, then when I turn it in, it will be covering the net. But before you turn it in, now you join the sides, this space we have here, to use and turn the sides of the lining and the bridal satin. Now you owe the 4 nets. You count so that you don't miss anyone out. You count the 4 nets. After counting the 4 nets, you owe the bridal satin, then the hard net. So I will sew these down to the hem. But before you do that, please don't forget to fold the hem of your lining on 1 inch. You fold on ½ inches, then you fold one more time this way. I'm through with the hemming of the gown. You can see how it looks. Now I've gone ahead also to turn the lining inside out. This is how it looks outside, and this is the inside of the lining. This is it. You turn it this way, so the edge of the lining will be neatly finished. Then when you turn it to the front, this is what you have. So now I'll give this a good press. I'm through with the pressing of the gown. You can see how it looks. Now the next we do is to join this ball gown at the center back, so we can fix in the zipper. So you go and join on the seam allowance, which is 0.75, down to the hem of the gown. So I'm through with the joining of the center back. You can see how it looks. Now the next we do is to fix in the zipper. I'll go and sew the zipper down, and I'll repeat the same thing also on the other side of my back. So I've pinned my zipper down to the gown. Now I'll go to the machine. I'll be sewing on this line here, from the neckline down to this place here, and I will stop. I'm through with the fixing of the zip. You can see how it looks. This is the back, and this is the front of the gown. And you can see this gown is looking simple, so I'll make use of this ribbon to do bow around it. Now let me show you how I'll do the bow. So for the bow, you measure out 12 inches. This is 12 inches. Then you cut out. You cut out 6 of the 12 inches. So now you roll it this way. Then you knot. This is how you knot it. So after you knot it, then you cut the side of the edge this way, and you put the same thing here also. So I'm through the knotting of the ribbon. So now you take one ribbon and tack it this way. You sew it down. Then I'll be making use of this bead at the front this way. So after you put the bead, you sew it to the gown. Look at the ones I've done. So now we'll sew this one also. So now tack it here. This is how you tack. Then you sew one more time. This is how it will look. Then you tie it at the back this way, just one more tie like this, and you cut out the thread. So now this is how it looks at the front. And I'll put more, then I will display it for you to see. I'm through with the fixing of the bow. You can see how beautiful this gown looks. I later changed the neckline of the back, and you can see how beautiful it looks. You can use any neckline you want for the back. Thank you, and thank you guys for watching to the end. I really appreciate you all. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this video with your soul friends. See you on the next one. God bless you.